Prince William is reportedly formulating a plan to finally strip Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of their HRH titles. The New York Post is reporting that locals in the UK say enough is enough.
I would love reconciliation.
House of Lords has decided to leave Harry empty-handed by snatching away all his royal titles. The fury isn't just royal, it's national.
That means they will no longer receive public funds and they will stop using their royal titles. Those changes will take effect this spring.
From political meddling in the US to cashing in on royal drama, both lawmakers and the public have had enough, and now Parliament is sharpening its sword.
The very public risk with the royal family. It was only a couple of weeks ago where he did that tell-all interview, which we did speak about. And then
This time, the British Parliament has entered the chat. The House of Lords, yes, the actual legislative backbone of the UK, has formally launched a petition to strip Harry of his Duke of Sussex title.
Prince William, he's reportedly furious after it emerged that Meghan Markle is still using her HRH title despite agreeing to drop the title when the Sussexes left royal duties.
This isn't tabloid drama or Meghan's next podcast rant. This is a full-blown constitutional takedown, years in the making. After all the whining, the Netflix sobbing, the Oprah pity parade, the very institution Harry betrayed is finally standing up and saying, "Sit down, mate."
Titles. The New York Post is reporting that locals in the UK say enough is enough, especially after Prince Harry's disastrous BBC interview, which aired hours after he lost his appeal for taxpayer-funded.
But you're probably thinking, isn't this just more noise from social media? Wrong. This isn't Karen from Twitter with a change.org petition. We're talking seasoned Conservative lords, respected crossbenchers and senior MPs from both sides of the aisle backing a legal move against the man who once called Buckingham Palace home.
Meghan Markle has been very brazen recently with the use of the HRH. Now, royal fans will know in 2020, during the negotiations for Harry and Meghan to leave royal duties, it was
when the elite start sharpening their swords, it's not for retweets, it's for scalps. And Harry just handed them his on a silver platter, sprinkled in Spotify royalties. And you want to know how fast the rage travelled? Try this. Within days, the petition exploded with tens of thousands of signatures.
So the fact that she's continued to use this HRH when they've been instructed not to, I think is absolutely infuriating in Buckingham Palace. And
we're not talking about a couple of angry royalists sipping tea in London. We're talking citizens from Sussex to Scotland saying, take that title back, he doesn't represent us. This isn't backlash, this is a full-on citizen-led revolt. And once Parliament feels public fire under its seat, history tells us something's about to burn.
And senior members of the royal family, because it denotes a level of I guess, respect in the public, and also it's not a financial thing. Working royals do not profit.
Here's the cherry on this royal-flavoured disaster sundae. The Titles Deprivation Act of 1917. That's the law they're reviving to boot Harry. Last time it was used to strip traitor royals who sided with Britain's enemies during World War I. Let that sink in. That's the league Harry's now being compared to. Not hero of Afghanistan Harry, but morally treasonous podcast influencer Harry. And the legal sword is already swinging.
Wales, who spoke to the Daily Beast, he said that William is furious, unsurprisingly, and he's also already formulating plans to deal with this when he becomes...
But wait, you thought the man just lost a title? Since 2020, Harry has been busy weaponising his own past like a self-obsessed YouTube vlogger. His entire brand, from Netflix deals to staged documentaries, has been built on one thing: dragging the very people who raised him. His dad, torched. His brother, torched. His stepmum, torched. The late Queen, not even sacred. The only person Harry respects anymore is whoever hands him the next $1 million book deal.
You know, we need to take a tougher line, basically, in the family against Harry and Meghan. So I think the understanding is that when he becomes monarch, they will be formally stripped of the HRH.
Now here's where it gets real slimy. That infamous BBC interview, the one where Harry moaned about his royal security, was aired just hours after he lost his taxpayer-funded protection appeal. The timing was so bad, so obviously manipulative, that even his few remaining defenders winced. Imagine whining on national TV about your trauma while the court literally told you, sorry, you're not entitled to our money anymore. And you air that like it's your moment of redemption, please. Even soap opera writers wouldn't dare.
So what they are saying is an animal rights group is saying that the British Bulldog is a dangerous breed in the sense that it's cruel on the dog because we breed it to...
And don't you dare forget the literary crime scene known as Spare. His ghost-written memoir, or more accurately, his royal burn book, is basically 400 pages of woe is me, dressed up with footnotes. He didn't just spill tea, He poured an entire boiling kettle over every living and deceased royal he could name. You could practically hear Queen Elizabeth turning in her grave every time he opened his mouth. At this point, if ghosts could sue, Harry would be bankrupt by now.
There is no trust when it comes to Prince Harry, and the picture he tries to paint with Queen Elizabeth, even saying during that BBC interview that the Queen wanted him to have this level of security, we're finding out the truth, and it's that she was bothered by them.
Now you might be wondering, is public opinion really that bad? It's worse. Polling by YouGov and the Daily Mail shows that 62% of Brits want Harry stripped of his Duke of Sussex title. That number jumps past 70% among older and Conservative voters. Even Labour supporters, who'd normally back a pub brawl over a palace banquet, have had it with his antics. When literally everyone is united in hating your vibe, you don't have a message, you've become the mess.
But Kinsey, you recently interviewed a friend of the royal family, Hugo Vickers, who revealed the late Queen was so fearful of Harry and Meghan that she wouldn't want to be alone with them.
And just when you think we've hit rock bottom, let's talk about title laundering. Because yes, that's now a thing. Harry's being accused by lawmakers of turning his inherited nobility into a badge of fake legitimacy. Political rants, Netflix sob stories, deals with Spotify, all wearing the golden badge of Duke of Sussex. He ditched the duty but kept the title like it's his Costco membership card. You want privacy, Harry? Then why are you dragging that title into every Hollywood pitch meeting like it's your emotional support animal?
Major breaking news out of London. Buckingham Palace announcing Harry and Meghan will no longer formally represent the Queen. That means they will no longer receive public funds and they will stop using their royal titles. Those changes will take effect this spring.
Now here comes the roast on a silver platter. The term aristocratic fraud is being thrown around, and guess who it's pinned to? Our dear Montecito Duke, the man who said no more royal life but signed every contract as His Royal Highness. He's not just milking the crown, he's turned it into a brand. Netflix slapped with Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Spotify, same. Press releases, book jackets, podcast intros, everywhere. If titles are sacred, Harry turned his into a running gag.
While the royal family does modernise, I mean, the Queen sends tweets, it is an age-old institution, and I think that idea of tradition and everything we expect of the monarchy doesn't quite sit well with that idea of...
And here's where the hypocrisy really stinks. Even his kids are being labelled prince and princess in press materials. Remember the big speech about wanting privacy and protecting the children? Turns out, only when it's convenient. Because while they're shouting about shielding their kids, they're also stamping royal baby on every media contract they can find. If this is what stepping back looks like, I can't wait to see what full-blown exploitation is.
For the monarchy means for the monarchy.
Well, people are talking about it being a constitutional crisis, and I'm not sure it is a constitutional crisis. I mean, through circumstance and the Cambridges having 3 children, Harry slipped down from being the spare to the heir to the 6th in line.
Others have proposed a modern legislative remedy, tailored to hold future royals accountable.
Let me leave you with this little dagger from royal commentator Philip Murphy. He straight up said, no other British noble has weaponised their titles like this. Not even the scandal-wrapped historical messes of past centuries pulled off this level of performative loyalty while cashing in on royal clout. He didn't walk away from royalty, he franchised it. Welcome to Sussex, team. The reality show nobody asked for, still playing on your Netflix screen.
There has been a crisis in the Windsors, not least how the Sussexes chose to release this news, but also the narrative that we've had in the fallout, that the couple were very unhappy, that apparently it was a very toxic environment, particularly for Meghan.
And just when you think Harry's saga couldn't possibly get more cringe, remember this. The man who once walked behind his mother's coffin in silence is now out here charging $20 million for a memoir that calls his brother names and reenacts royal fights like it's WWE. Whatever sympathy he once had, gone. Replaced by a Hollywood glow-up and an obsession with victimhood. The only title he deserves at this point is Duke of Delusion.
I mean, look how desperately she wanted to hold on to her HRH title. Harry and Meghan tossed those in the air. Okay, take them. Because they know that available to...
You might think Harry couldn't dig himself any deeper, but he found a shovel and started drilling straight through the Constitution. Let's talk about the moment the Duke of Sussex, yes, a British royal, decided it was totally okay to call the US First Amendment bonkers. That's right, he moved to America, built a mansion, cashed Hollywood checks, and then trashed the very foundation of American free speech. Say what you want, but not while wearing the Queen's badge and sipping green juice in Montecito.
All right, well, the rift in the royal family is once again in the spotlight, with Prince Harry airing his grievances to the world after losing a security battle.
I can't see a world in which I would be bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point.
But here's where the clown show turns full circus. British MPs aren't just side-eyeing Harry's remarks, they're labelling him a foreign political mouthpiece. Because let's be real, this isn't a prince anymore. It's a full-time influencer with a royal stamp on his business card. When you use your crown-granted title to push partisan California talking points, you're not representing Britain, you're undermining it. Is he a duke or a lobbyist with a crown and a podcast filter?
I would love reconciliation with my family. There's no point in continuing to fight anymore. As I said, life is precious.
Now, Parliament's not just reacting, they're building barricades. The Dignity of the Crown Act is currently in motion, a law designed to block royals from using their titles in foreign politics. And guess who's on the poster? Prince Privacy himself. Because of Harry's endless need to stay relevant through activism, the entire legal system is now being updated to stop future royals from pulling a Sussex. Parliament's not just stripping titles, they're building safeguards because of Harry. Should Harry be stripped of everything, or does he still deserve a crown? Tell us in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for the next royal takedown.